Okay, here's a thrilling look at my end of my driveway and my bins. I'm going to use this for obviously a little camera tracking demo. So let's just play that. Nice and shaky, even though I stabilized it first. I need to also point out this will never be a perfect 3D camera solve, because if you look over here when I'm jogging it, you'll see it's moving more than the actual camera movement, because that's the old jello wobble effect that you get with domestic cameras. I tried to help it out a little bit, but this is just a demo, so I'm not going to spend all day on it. Right, so here's the clip. And for a little bit of fun, this is what I want to do. This preview that I'm about to play is live from the comp that I've made. So I've already tracked the camera and put a CG object in here, which is, oops, let's get rid of that. And I forgot to change a couple of things. Here we go. Motion blur off, because that will slow everything down. Okay. So there's another bin joining the 3. Right, so that's actual CG running in this shot. Let me see where he is. Ba-ba-boom. I tried not to show too much here, because really it's not about this. So I've done him a little animation. He's just doing a straight thing, turning, doing his business. And that's integrated with the scene, which I've already built. It's a little more complicated than straight comping in here, because I've tried to be fancy and come up with a result that looks like this. I need better contact shadows, but you get the idea. It's looking pretty sound. All right, so the main event is trying to get something in the scene that's stable with the camera movement, so we kind of believe it's actually there. And obviously the lighting and other things all contribute to that. So I've got this track, which I've done here in Fusion, and I've exported it with the FBX exporter, and I'm going to see what iClone does with it. So I import the camera. That's this one. Open. I don't want the media in this case, but I do know I need to scale the camera by 10, because I exported it at 0.1, so a tenth of that. So import. Okay, nothing to see yet. Next thing I'm going to do is get the video footage and drop it in as a background. Nothing's happening here. Let's see what we got. Oh, too many programs. So the camera's moving around. Looks like it's doing the right thing. So let's have a look in the camera. And we're not going to see anything different here until I add an object. So let's just add a box. And, well, if I hit play, you'll see what's going on. Lots of weirdness. So the first thing I figured out is it's got the wrong, well, it's got quite a few things wrong, actually. We're not seeing the whole thing, so my first thing I have to look at is the clipping plane. And yeah, look, for some reason it's gone very small. So there we go. Just made it bigger so we can see the whole thing. Let's make that box a bit smaller. Okay. I don't know why my video clip isn't running. Let's have a look. Well, there's nothing I can do, is there, with it? Background video. Oh, that's not what we want. Delete that. Let's try again. And before. Oh, I think I need to do this. Okay, background texture, diffuse map. Ah, still not going. What the heck? Anyway, let's just say there are problems, but with a bit of perseverance, can actually make it work. Now, here's the thing. If I go back to Fusion for a minute, I'll show you the one I did in iClone, and I'll show you what the problem is and why it's basically inherently not going to work because of the way the iClone system works. So here's the track I exported, and here's the box, and I'll hit play. It's just caching properly here, and then it'll play smoothly. Okay, look at the box. You see how it's wobbling? It's like a pendulum swinging back and forth, like it's not basically in the right place. Well, what I discovered is it's actually doing the right thing by all accounts. I don't know if it's perfect, but it certainly seems to be doing the right thing. And the big discovery here in the revelation is if I look at the footage itself, which is that, and then I can go to my B channel and stick the iClone one in there and then do a split so I can see between the two frames. So that's the raw plate, and this is the iClone render. And so yeah, they look perfectly correct. Now watch what happens when I go to the next frame. They're no longer the same. And I get to the third frame and they're okay. And the fourth frame and they're out again. So the problem is, and now this was done at 24 frames a second as almost always, but I have tried it with other frame rates as well. And the problem is the architecture for iClone is based on 60 frames a second. And so everything other than 60 frames a second is a calculation or an interpolation. So although it may be able to bring the FBX camera in properly, if the background that you're rendering with it isn't correct, your tracks are always going to look wrong. This is the split of the two things playing, actually. Let's see what happens. You can see how the footage looks out of sync. Well, my system's struggling now. I got a lot going on. But you can still see that there's every other frame basically is slightly different. It's interpolated basically between. And it's not always every other frame. Sometimes it's two good frames and then a bad frame and then a good frame and then a bad frame. So there you are. So I can't say that the iClone FBX import export is perfect or not with regard to this, but what I can definitely say is that when you render it with a plate, and this goes for anything that you put on a billboard or anything like that, the frame rate is kind of the nearest best guess while it's interpolating from its 60 frames a second to 24 or 30. And with that, I will leave you with this.